Shri Shri Guru Parampara ki jai. ISKCON Guru Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Gurudev.
All right, so we continue with discussing the teachings of Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati. Word from Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura. First of all, we want to thank all of you for nice celebration of Guru Purnima yesterday. I hope all of you enjoyed the festival, even though it was not like other previous years celebrated in the temple with a big kirtan, big programs, big crowd. But it was not celebrated like that, big decorations, everything big, big. But still, it was very sweet in its own way. So we continue our discussion on the word from Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati. We have looked at it from 1 to 6. Today we start from 7, where he said, there is no peace or happiness in our worldly There is no peace or happiness in our worldly life. Circumstances create turmoil and annoyance. This is true because all of us have this experience that some days without any apparent reason, one is not happy. You just wake up in the morning. There's nothing, nobody has ever spoken with you. You have not seen someone, nobody has ever seen you. But just wake up from bed, you're not happy. Just like that. Something. Or just get up from bed and you notice that you have a severe headache, migraine, or stomach, something. What's the cause of that? We are not prepared for it. And some people will go to bed in the night and tomorrow will not go to bed. This is the material world. So I say, what Sarasvati Thakura said, there is no peace or happiness in our worldly life. There's no peace, no happiness. Practically speaking, life begins when you want to take the Krishna consciousness. That is when life begins. You take the Krishna consciousness in this life. We have several times said that those who are not in Krishna consciousness are asleep. So how can they be like? And last week also we're discussing from this leadership book that there cannot be no stress except we are dead bodies. There cannot be a life without stress. That's a dead body, it's not a live body. Live body, it must be something that disturbs me. Some people will get up in the morning remembering that they have a carryover for previous rounds. Or one will remember the incident that has happened. Maybe the day before one went to bed or something that has happened. So there's so many things to make us unhappy. And there will always be something like that. Only a pure devotee who is not in this way, Jivan Mukta, is completely free. Completely free does not mean that there is nothing. There are many things, but because of his spiritual position, he doesn't see it or she doesn't see it. He doesn't see it. He's the same. Whatever comes, he embraces all of them equally. I will go to Bhagavad Jesus. One is not happy or content, having a pleasant situation. One is happy, not because it's pleasant situation or pleasant situation, one becomes unhappy. One who is equal to both. Krishna said he is converted by a kalpate. He's eligible for liberation. So that's the life of a devotee. A person in Christian consciousness. Eligibility does not mean that one has no challenges, but one knows how to handle the challenges perfectly without any this. So that is material life. In Christian conscious life is different. We have life, always we have life. A wonderful situation that is always pleasing at all times. We have to work it out. Not that somebody has to give it to us. We have to work it out to be on that level. We have to work it out ourselves. We have to work it out. So materially speaking, it is said, as you make your bed, that is how you're going to lie on it. As you make your bed, not that somebody make the bed. As you make the bed, that's how you're going to lie. If the bed is full of thorns, so it's a wood bed, or it's a bed of foam, whatever we make, that is what you're going to lie. That's what you're going to get. So Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati is preparing our mind, is giving us the vision to understand. We cannot be happy in this material. There'll be too much. There'll be situations to make us unhappy. I wake up in the morning, we are told someone here in the family has left the world. Oh, what is that? We don't expect to hear that, but it's coming. Something will be there. Every day, something will be there. It's a material experience. Text number 8. Next text. Okay. Chant the Maha Mantra loudly and with attachment. This will drive away inertia, worldly evils, and pest. This is wonderful. Pest. This is it is so wonderful the way our acharyas select their words. Pest. We know what you mean. Pest. And then we have so many pesticides. We have many pesticides. But that pest, what are the pests in our life? Pest, evils, and Bhaktisiddhanta says what they use the word evil. Evils and pest. Evils. And by what I'm also super was trying to use the word evil spirit. Evil spirit, how can spirit be evil? And here is mentioning evil. And as well as the pest. There's so many varieties of pest. So we can say that the eradication mantra is what? The pesticide. Is it not? To check it, to check all the unnecessary things that it goes with us, all the necessary things. All the necessary things that we check. He says we chant loudly. If we chant loudly, why should we chant loudly? Because if we chant loudly, be forced to hear. Be forced, and that will arrest the attention of the mind. So the mind will hear it. So this is one of the techniques to chant the holy name nicely, without inattentiveness. To chant without inattentiveness. So the mind is not going somewhere to chant loudly. Like you're shouting on somebody, the person must give attention. Or whatever you shout, even if it's not only a particular person you are shouting at that will give us attention. People in the environment will give us attention as well. The moment we shout, it will attract the attention of everybody in that environment. So if you shout at our minds, the minds will give us attention. So chanting loud means what? It means that we are shouting at the mind. You have to listen to what I'm chanting. This is one of the ways to bring the mind to hear the name we're chanting, or not to disturb us. So His Holiness Jayaprakash Swami used to chant very loud. And what is complained, it was disturbing, was distracting their own chanting. And I think many devotees have the same problem. That I cannot chant with people because many people will chant so loud that I cannot hear my own. They don't follow the etiquette. And also it's one of the etiquettes that one should not chant louder than the voice of the spiritual master. So here, how will you reconcile this? You shouldn't chant louder than the voice of the spiritual master. And if you chant lower than his voice, you're not going to hear. So what will you do? And his chant loud, also other devotees are going to be distracted, they're going to be disturbed. So what to do? So when it was reported to Srila Prabhupada, you should go behind. Go behind. In the big temple, that is possible. In the big temple room, it's possible. So one should go behind. If you want to chant loud, you have to go behind everybody. So that we chant together in the group at the same time, you're not disturbing other people. So you go behind everybody, and then you can shout at the mind. The mind will listen to us. So the Bhaktisiddhanta says what the Thakura. He's recommending this. Chant loud. The evils and the pace will disappear. Chant the Maha Mantra loudly and without attachment. No attachment. With attachment. To chant with attachment. Yes, this is a technique. One of the techniques for chanting, the technologies we need to improve the quality of chanting. One is to chant loudly and with attachment. We should be attached to the name. We will be attached to the name when the name is becoming tasty. And when we are also developing some interest for the name. Or when we understand the purpose of the potency, the power, or the nature of the name. Just like if you know, if we hear something about something which is very attractive, it becomes attractive to us, it becomes our interest. So we develop interest in something when we hear about the quality of that object or a person. So we are going to have attachment for the holy name if we hear about the potency, the quality, and the nature of the name. We have discussed this a few years ago. Our discussion on the holy name in Mauritius. Why we should change the holy name? Why is it important for us? We must know. We must know the identity of the name. We must know who he is. When we know about the person, I know about the quality of the person, I know what the person can do. Naturally, we develop interest. So this person is so wealthy. If I have association with the person, my financial difficulty will be solved. We will naturally have interest. Naturally, we have interest. We have attachment. We'll be thinking of that person. We plan how to see the person. We'll inquire from those who have contact with the person, so you can link up with the person. We'll be thinking of that person. So we will need to have attachment for the name. These are the necessary things we need to have to be able to develop this attachment for the name. The attachment should chant loudly and with attachment. Loudly and with attachment. If we are attached to the name, then the taste will come out. Taste will come. Just like anything we like. Anything we like is not a problem. Something which is a problem for us is things we don't like. If we like something, there's no problem, there's no difficulty. Whatever challenges is there, we'll handle it very easily. So when we chant loudly, all the narrators and all the narrators, they will fly off. They'll be chased away. Kali will run away. Like when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Nityananda Prabhu along with their Sri Advaita Acharya, Sri was Pandit, and I haven't kirtan every day nowadays from Ghat to Ghat to Ghat to Ghat, the bank of Ganga. Kali was fighting and he ran away. So we chant loudly, the pace will all run away. All the material desires which are there, hanging there, disturbing us, all the varieties of distractions which are there, they will all be chased away. These are the pests. Chase away. All the necessary habits that are there will run away. The desire for material things, the taste for material things, they will all get destroyed if you have attachment and chant the name. Our inattentiveness will be corrected. We have a attention to the name because now it is sweet. We have not seen someone eating a tasty sumptuous person like yesterday feast. I didn't see anyone who was sleeping on the sumptuous feast. Sumptuous feast. Nobody sleep there because we have attachment. And the food is tasty. It is our like. The preparations which we like very much. So we won't sleep on it. Of course, we know that sometimes there are many reasons why we sleep on it, but the body is tired. Tired from many things. The body is tired from eating very late in the night, or sleeping too late, or the mind is so cloudy with so many all the pests out there. The pests are out there. The environmental forces are also there. Environmental forces are also there. All these things contribute to feeling sleepy, ginger. So we have to work on it. So all these I consider to be pests. by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakura. So we have the responsibility to work on them. Next, item 9. Be indifferent to bazaar gossips. Stick firmly to your cherished goals. No lack or impediment of the world will ever stand in your way. Be indifferent to bazaar gossips. This one, be indifferent to bazaar gossips. Stick firmly to your cherished goals. And then what will happen? No lack or impediment of the world will ever stand in your way. Wonderful. See, very powerful. His Holiness Bhaktisiddhanta has written in his leadership book 1 that gossip has 2 side effects. Gossip. Gossip means what? Talking unnecessary things. Talking unnecessary things, garbage, feasting on garbage. His Holiness Radha Maharaj said, we should not feast on the forbidden apple of this forbidden apple of gossip. Same word. Forbidden apple. Apple is a delicacy. I saw some time back that health department, we must take 1 apple a day, at least 1 apple a day for good health. That is what they recommended. 1 apple a day. Yes. 1 apple a day. So Maharaj used the word, His Holiness Maharaj used the word, we shouldn't feast on the forbidden apple of gossip. It is not a good feast. So from the leadership book 1 of His Holiness Bhaktisiddhanta, he said, gossip has 2 side effects. 1, it will make us very dry. Very dry. 2nd, we become sexually stimulated. Sexually stimulated. Because if you are spiritually dry, what is there? What is there? We are depleted. We are spiritually depleted, like a flat tire. If you have a flat tire, you cannot run. So we want to control our senses. We should also watch what we talk every day. So here he's saying we should avoid gossip. We should avoid. We should talk about Krishna 24 hours a day. That is silence. That is silence. If you can speak about Krishna 24 hours a day, that is silence. And in Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is said, if one is actually a good logician and argumentator, it is better to apply that quality, that ability in speaking the message of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. If we don't do that, we're going to be spiritually depleted and sexually disturbed. Our chariots are so powerful. They are good doctors who have diagnosed everything about us, and they know exactly what is our disease, and they are providing the perfect medicine for it. Be indifferent. Indifferent means what? You should not. We shouldn't have attraction. Here in text 8, he has told us to have attachment for the holy name, and in text 9, he is referring we should be disgusted. Goshen should be disgust. We shouldn't have any attraction. We should be indifferent. We should not have any feeling for it. It shouldn't be a feast for us to participate. We shouldn't. If we want to have attachment for the name, then it is very important that we should avoid gossip, so we don't become spiritually depleted. Why we are spiritually depleted? Because we are not feeding, we are not nourishing our spiritual part, our spiritual self. We are depleting because we have punctured our spiritual tube. So the air is leaking out. That is what the gossip does. Gossip is what? It's a puncture. And then the air of our Christian consciousness is leaking out. Gradually becomes depleted. And what is left is extreme sexual desire. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati says, Thakura says we should be indifferent. But we should be attached to, we should appreciate, we should feast on our goal. What is our goal? The Krishna consciousness. We should stick firmly to our cherished goals, This is Krishna consciousness. We have strong sadhana. We have a lot of sadhana. A lot of varieties. How many books do we have in this country? And so many books are coming. So many. Some devotees have given the statistics. How long it will take us to finish Srimad Bhagavatam? If you keep reading every day, they have given statistics about Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita, and Network Devotion. We have so many. And our charities books are all day. And your spiritual are also books are all there. We have to read all this. So we really have so much. We have so many facilities. We have so many things to occupy us. Krishna consciousness that will help us to cherish our ultimate goal. It's Krishna consciousness. If we do this, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura said, impediment will not disturb us, will not be impeded. Will not be impeded. No impediment for devotees. How can we say that? That there's no impediment. Every day we have a lot of challenges. Challenges is different from impediment. Impediment means a stumbling block. Impeded means you cannot move from here, you can't cross it. That does not exist for devotees. If it does exist, then the Pandavas will have given up Krishna consciousness because they have had more than what any one of us can ever think of. Then Prahlad Maharaj wouldn't have been a devotee. He would have given up Krishna consciousness long time. Then Haridasa Thakura also would have given up Krishna consciousness. He would have practiced it. And many other wonderful devotees. Both of our present are so much difficulties. Challenges are passing through. But they're moving on. Why? Because they are fixed on their goal. They avoid all the necessary things that should be avoided. They avoid all. all necessary things were avoided. Avoid all of them. And they are attached to the goal of life, which is Krishna consciousness. So there's no impediment for a devotee who is fully engaged in Krishna consciousness. No impediment. All challenges would be a stepping stone for a devotee. That is confirmed here by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakura. No lack or impediment of the world will ever stand in our way. No. Everything which is there, all the challenges of a devotee or devotees are what? Perfect arrangement of Krishna for us to make advancements in our Krishna consciousness. If you are following all these disciplines, we will never have any challenging which is impossible for the devotee to handle. If all of us here can testify to that, all of us can testify to that we have had so many challenges that Krishna, we didn't know how to handle it, but Krishna solved it. And there are so many things in our life which we don't know that Krishna has already handled it. There's so many. So sometimes Krishna allows some of them to become present so we can see what he's doing. But there are millions that he's doing without us knowing. So many. And we have practically experienced on ourselves so many things we have passed through successfully without our effort, without anything from our side. The Christian handle, there are many. The Christian, they used to give testimony. Of course, some of them are fake. Some of them are just concocted, they're just construed by them just to make a show how their Lord is helping them, because they are materialistic and they don't know anything beyond that. So that they think that is the goal, what the Lord has done for me, but they don't count what they have done for the Lord. Of course, we don't do that in our own Christian consciousness by trying to make confession about what Christians have done. But we know that so many things Christians have done in our lives. So Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati, he is confirming all that. He's confirming it. Next. Next item 10. Pay due respect to the extroverts of the world, but do not be appreciative of their manners and conduct. They are to be shaken off from their minds. Pay due respect to the extroverts of the world, but do not be appreciative of their manners and conduct. They are to be shaken off from their mind. You shouldn't remember all the bad things people have done. You should remember all the bad things people have done. Now that we remember the good things we have done for people. Remember the bad things people have done for us, the bad word they have used, the bad plans they have made. The tendency to retaliate. Therefore, they should be forgotten. And to forget also the good things we have done means what? If you remember them, be counting them, we will develop us and consider ourselves to be the good. If we put to be forgotten, we want to. What people have done to us, whatever they have said, they are painful and need our attention to address them, but they will not make any tangible result. Therefore, better to forget them. We should allow our minds to think about them, to remember them, to consider what they have said. Some of them are very painful, very, very painful, very piercing to the heart. Like, like when you pour lime juice on a wound. It is painful if you pour lime on the wound. The wound is already there. To pour lime on it is like when you pour a cool water into a boiling water. Or like if those of you who are very experienced or who have been cooking halwa, know what it means. The water is boiling nicely. Then the halwa is also being toasted very nicely. And you pour inside. It's heavy reaction. So the mind is going to react to the extroverts. Whatever they have said or done to us, whatever insult that they have given to us, the mind will start counting them. The mind will be remembering them, thinking seriously about them. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakura Prabhupada said, we should pay due respect to the extrovert of the world, but we should not appreciate. We should not appreciate their manners and conduct. We should shake them off from our mind. We should not remember them. We should not look at their life. Don't look at their own life. But then people think that devotees are suffering. I remember a few years ago, a lady came to me, she was crying. I said, what is the problem, Mataji? Oh, my sister. What is it about your sister? Oh, my sister told me you are a Christian devotee, you are not doing this exercise, not gambling, you're not taking intoxication, you're not eating flesh, you're every day chanting. But you have no child. You see me, I'm eating everything, I'm doing everything, I have even boyfriends, even with my husband. I say, I'm doing everything, I have children. You are doing this thing, Krishna, what is your child? See, because of this thing you're doing, get out of this room, come, let me take you to Shiva. You get the child. She was crying. I look at her, I say, Mataji, listen to me. Can you stop crying and listen to me? You have come to me. He said, okay, yes. So I said, Mataji, you should not be ashamed that a non-devotee, a karmi, is making you to cry. You're not ashamed. You're not ashamed of that. You should make them cry for being what they are. They're going to hell. They should cry for being nonsense, not taking care of their self-interest, not acting as a human being. You should make them to cry, to realize the path they're following is very, very dangerous and risky. But it's a surprise that you are the one crying. The non-devotee is making you to cry, not for Krishna. Not for Krishna, not crying for Krishna, for pure love for Krishna. It's not a shame that you should be. That means that you do not understand the teachings of Krishna consciousness. You don't understand the philosophy of Krishna. You don't understand why you should be a devotee. You don't understand the position of Krishna, your relationship, and what Krishna consciousness stands for. You don't understand. It's not a shame. If somebody is talking nonsense to you, So I told her, my dear Matari, are you the only one in this world who has this problem? She said, no. So are they, all of them are Krishna devotees? No. So what is responsible for that? Because we are devotees. So please, you should try to understand this. Our mind should not go to these things. Our mind should be in Krishna. We should not respect them. We should not. We should not appreciate them. But we should thank you. Pay them respect. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for your nice advice. Thank you very much. Thank you. But we should not appreciate them. How can we appreciate a sinful person not appreciating sinless people? We should appreciate sinless people, pure devotees, not appreciating sinful people. We should not regret not being sinful like them. We shouldn't. We should regret being sinful. We're not taking the Krishna consciousness. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, pay due respect to the extrovert of the world, but do not be appreciative of their manners and conduct. There is nothing to appreciate in them. Nothing. Everything about them is obnoxious. Everything. Everything is obnoxious. But with Krishna, we have everything which is perfect and complete. Everything. So we are doing everything that is going on in a better and pure way. While the non-devotees are doing their nonsense in a very sinful way, and the consequences are very heavy. Therefore, why should we appreciate them? Why should I appreciate sinful people? Instead of feeling very sorry for them and try to preach to them to bring them out. The Prophet said, we should inject Krishna into their dull brain. We should find a way to inject Krishna consciousness into the dull brain of the mundane people. But here we see people with dull brain are making a person with a sharp brain to cry. This is regrettable. So I told her, Mataji, is not a shame for you to do this. Don't do this. I still have the same experience with some devotees in Dubai. I have the same problem. The same problem. Somebody say, my friend, you are a Hare Krishna devotee, see what is happening. No husband, no child, cannot get pregnant. Let me take you to Shiva. You see immediately what will happen. And the lady was also perplexed, what to do. They called me all the way from Dubai. Asking me this. This is an issue here, what to do. I'm advising them. Should not be faithless like this. Should not be faithless like this. Should be faithful. Should trust in Krishna. Should know Krishna is always there. Krishna is always there for us. And he has come to be with us. That is Krishna's nature. So it is said that Krishna is Bhaktisiddhanta. He is there for the devotees. Krishna is always there for the devotees. So we should be convinced of this. And be very attached to the holy name. And chant very loudly. Be indifferent to bazaar gossip. And all unnecessary things should try to keep away from them and follow. Srila Rupa Goswami in his Vidagda Madhava, he said, there's a conversation between Narada Muni and Uddhava in Dwarka. A fortunate person who follows a good advice of saintly persons would always meet with success. While those who are very unfortunate and don't follow the advice of the sadhus will always end up at naught. So, this wonderful feast that Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati has given to us It's something we should meditate upon them daily and try to apply them in our lives. And we'll see the wonderful result that comes. These things they have perfectly worked all of them out to say exactly what we needed, and they're presenting exactly the medicine, the solution to all our problems. The only thing needed is for us to apply them in our daily lives, and we'll see wonder. Next. The next is a devotee feels the presence of God everywhere. But one averse to the Lord denies his existence anywhere. This is one of them. This is one. The devotee feels the presence of God everywhere. But one averse to the Lord denies his existence anywhere. This is correct. 100% correct. 100%. 100% correct. Krishna is present before us every time. After all, he is a super soul in the heart. What is Krishna doing with us as super soul? What is he doing with us? Krishna is present before us anywhere, every time. And there is no time he is not speaking to us. But because we are averse to Krishna, we don't hear what Krishna is telling us. And even some of us who are able to experience it, we don't follow what Krishna tells us. Krishna is available all the time. He is a super soul in all the heart, the living entity. The whole living entity is a super soul. There's no living entity that doesn't have super soul. It's our well-wisher, it's our best friend, it's a proprietor. Even if you deny him, he's providing everything. Even if he said there's no God, he's still there, providing everything. So a sincere soul will always see the presence of Krishna, will always feel the presence of Krishna all the time. Even people who say there is no God, but sometimes, oh God. But he said there is no God. Oh God. They said there's no God, but when something happened, they would say, oh God. Why, oh God? Because he is always there. As we're quoting from Chaitanya back up yesterday. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, only those whom he has shown his favor that will realize him, will see him everywhere. Krishna. A devotee sees Krishna everywhere. A devotee sees Krishna everywhere. Everywhere, the devotee will see Krishna. And Krishna will see him. But one who is not a devotee will never see Krishna. One who is not fortunate will not see what is available. Only a person who is fortunate will see what is available. So the fact that we don't see the Supreme Personality does not mean he's not there. He's always there. But we are disqualified. We disqualify ourselves to see him. Yumam Pashati Sarabatra Saravam Chamayi Pashati Saram Chamayi Pashati Pashyamam Na Punashami Sachame Na Punashati Na Sacha Na Punashati Sacha Na Punashati. The one who sees me everywhere and sees everything in me. That's the good thing. I'm never lost for him. Nor is he ever lost for me. Never. That is Krishna. But non-devotee will not see Krishna. Like Krishna is present before us. We will not see. Because of the disease of turning our face away from Krishna. It's a big disease of turning our face away from Krishna. In Srimad Bhagavatam, that is Bhagavad 680. And if you go to Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 3, Text 83. I will check this. But the one is speaking. Yatrine Sarasvati Bhaktisiddhanta Shatsam Vida Avidya Yatamani Kriti Iti Tad Brahma Darshanam Iti Tad Brahma Darshanam. Whenever a person experiences by self-realization that both the gross and the subtle bodies have nothing to do with the pure self, at that time he sees himself as well as the Supreme Lord. So Prophet mentioned before that it's ignorance of vidya that has, what is that? Our desire to be independent of Krishna has created a big demarcation. I would not want to see what is behind us. You're like a person who is sleeping. The person who is sleeping, you can keep food before the person won't be able to see it. Even though the delicious, the best food the person likes, you can keep the food for the person who is sleeping, you will not see it. That is the work of ignorance. You won't see it. So also, if we are versed of Krishna, we're not able to see what is available. We know that son of Krishna. So the devotee feels the presence of God everywhere. But when averse to the Lord denies his existence anywhere, God doesn't exist. We don't see. The get out of Krishna say what? I'm the taste, the water. I'm the light of the sun. I'm the heat, the fire. I am the Om with the contrast. I'm the healing hedge in all the herbs. I am the strength of the strong. I'm the intelligence of the intelligent and ability in man. A devotee can perceive all this and appreciate Krishna in every object. But the non-devotee who is averse will never see this. It's our fault. It's not the fault of Krishna, it's our fault. Next. You cannot appreciate transcendental matters, what the reasoning of the world. It is sheer nonsense to decry them, what the measuring stick of their intellect. What can intelligence do? What ability do we have? We are measurable, and Krishna is immeasurable. What is our ability to understand the immeasurable? We are limited. Krishna is not limited. What is our ability to understand the unlimited? So he said, you cannot appreciate transcendental matters with the reasoning of the world. Reasoning of the world. Even with the scripture, you can appreciate this. You cannot study this book and understand the Christian. Cannot. We not use our mundane. What is it? Falls short of the glory recipients of the world. It is sheer nonsense to decry them with the measuring stick of our intellect. Sarasvati Goswami already told us, Ata Sri Krishna Namadi and Indriya, seven do. So Krishna is beyond our intelligence, beyond our mind, beyond our senses. Krishna is completely beyond, completely beyond. We cannot. So the scientists, the politicians, and the philosophers are trying to use their intelligence and brain to understand people. How is that possible? Only when Krishna reveals himself. And who Krishna would reveal himself to? Krishna would reveal himself to the devotees who have appreciation for him, who have had the fortune of his own devotees. Only then Krishna will reveal himself. Krishna will show the way. And Bhagavad 7:25, he said, I reserve the right not to expose myself to anyone and anyone. It's my right. I will do that only to the devotees. Krishna showed himself only to the devotees who are not trying to understand Krishna by the intelligence, by their mind, with their senses, their speculation. They are simply trying to understand Krishna by the costless mystery of Krishna, and Krishna is pure. Aham Professor Sarasvati, Dudu Maya, Mabuta, Muduyam, Nabija, Udokumam, Adam, I am never manifest to the foolish and unintelligent, for them I am covered by my eternal potency, and therefore they do not know that I am born and infallible. Dokumam, Madam, Matayam. This is Krishna. We cannot get him by our strength. What is our strength? Krishna keeps himself away. So we have eye, but we cannot see. We have ears, we cannot hear. We can talk, but we don't talk. That is Krishna. Hare Krishna, my dear devotees, please tell me if there are some questions or comments.
Krishna Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Guru Maharaj. Referring to the instruction number 9.
9.
Yes. We should be indifferent to the gossip, to the bazaar gossip. You mentioned that Krishna is already dealing with our challenges, millions of challenges in our life, without us knowing about it. And he gives some of these so that we can go through, we can have experience of them. So if you could elaborate a bit about the challenges that Krishna is removing from our life that we are not knowing, if you could elaborate a bit about that.
So many challenges from the mind. So many challenges from the mind. So many challenges from the body, the health, the mind, the health. So many challenges from the senses. A lot of challenges from the senses. So many challenges, even for the intelligence. So many. Extrovert means one who not just everything is very difficult. Everything about him is different. Everything, very different. I give example how Mataji was challenged by her own sister. He doesn't believe in Christian consciousness and is averse to Christian consciousness, and he doesn't want what other people. He doesn't appreciate other people also in Christian consciousness. It's so bad. The challenges, we have a lot of challenges coming from levels so that it is. Some scriptural points which needs to be resolved and also clear about it. There's so many. We have is psychic challenges. Think about it. The best. That's many. So we're not happy with us and do some negative psychic on us. So all those things are there. The Christian is taking care of them. Some people don't like us. There's some challenges coming from our own previous activity in the previous life. So you're going to say something very bad, negative. So, but it's Siddhanta Sarasvati Thakura. So you should not remember them to keep your mind there. So remember, look at what happened to Prahlad, look at what happened to Harita, look at what happened to Jesus. Look at what happened to the Pandavas. They didn't remember. They paid them respect. As you do some analysis, you will never be happy seeing Dhira done in difficulty. You will not be happy to see Dhira done in difficulty. Whatever is in difficulty, you go down and help you. Does it make sense?
Yes, Gumrat. Thank you very much, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna, Srila Gurudev. There is one question from Raja Lakshmi Mataji. She is asking, what is an extrovert exactly?
Yes, I have already mentioned. According to dictionary, extrovert means what? Relating to, denoting, or typical of an extrovert. Socially confident person, an outgoing person. I give examples. People who speak nonsense about you. They believe that what they are doing is better than what you do. So a sister telling her sister that you are in Christian consciousness, you have a husband, you have no child, so you are suffering. Because look at me. I'm not upholding Krishna consciousness. I'm doing everything. I eat meat, I drink, and I do everything. Relationships, I'm doing everything. What I have is I have children, I have money, I have house. So what do you do that? So, but Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati should not appreciate them. That is, we keep them in our mind. Our mind should not be disturbed by that. Yeah, extrovert. 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 All right.
Krishna Guru Maharaj.
Yeah, talkative. Talkative. I just give an example. This lady, and I other example from Dubai. I said talkative. They just talk, and but what they talk is to insult somebody else, to demote somebody and promote themselves. All right, next one. Yes, Dayanand from me.
I think we don't have more questions today, Guru Maharaj.
Okay. Thank you.
So, thank you very much for your intervention. And we hope devotees would have got much information about how to improve their spiritual life from the instruction of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Swami. Bhaktisiddhanta Thakura. Sorry, Guru Maharaj.
All right. Hare Krishna.
Thank you again, Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna. Bhakti Damodara Maharaj ki.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.